Hello students, welcome to Shob's classes. So in today's video we'll solve 2016 July paper. So we are solving the UGC NET Economics paper 2. So in today's video we'll solve question number 6. So in the last video we solved until question number 5. So in today's video we'll start with question number 6 and we'll go further until question number 7. So in today's video first we'll start with question number 6. In question number 6 it is given, consider the following statement regarding the long run equilibrium in the monopolistic market. So first of all, we know in the long run monopolistic market it follows same as perfect competition, that is the firm runs at normal profit, that like perfect competition. In perfect competition, we know in perfect competition what happens, AR equals to MR. This is marginal cost curve, and in long run what happens, the AC curve is, which is LAC curve, is tangential, that is at this point. So similarly at this point we say there is no there is no profit or loss, rather we call it normal profit. Similarly, in case of monopolistic competition, they follow the same assumption, that is there is no profit or loss situation in the long run. And second, there is no entry or exit of the firm, so there is no entry and no exit of the firms in the long run. So for this we know both of them are right. So for question number 6 the right answer is option 3. So now we'll come to question number 7. So in question number 7 it is given, which of the following is not a problem of insurance market. So there are 4 things are given: adverse selection, moral hazard, asymmetric information, principal agent problem. So we have 4 options, out of which we know for question number 7 the right answer is principal agent problem. Principal agent problem is there in signaling, that is when the workers hire laborers, how they increase their labor time. So it is not at all related to these 3, which is adverse selection, asymmetric information and moral hazard. So adverse selection, moral hazard and asymmetric information is a problem of insurance market, but principal agent problem is not compatible with the insurance market problem. Now we'll go to the next question, that is, in consumption inferior goods have negative income effect, zero income effect, positive income effect and infinite income effect. So we have to figure out in consumption inferior goods have which one is true. We know that inferior good is that good whose income effect is negative and substitution effect is also negative. So inferior good is that kind of good whose income effect is negative and substitution effect is also negative. Now negative income effect basically means a fall in price of a commodity leads to an increase in real income, which results in fall in quantity demanded. So negative income effect means what? A fall in price of a commodity. Suppose the price of X commodity falls. So what happens? The real income, which is M by Px, what happens to it? It increases. So due to what happens? That is, the negative income effect means a fall in price of a commodity leads to an increase in real income for this. So what happens is that leads to an fall in quantity demanded. So basically when income increases, now due to negative income effect what happens? The quantity demanded falls. And on the other hand, since the consumer react to an increase in income by demanding less of an inferior good, thus negative substitution effect implies that a fall in price of a good result in a rise in quantity demanded, while negative income effect means that in price implies that a result of fall in price quantity demanded decreases. So what is substitution effect? Substitution effect is what? That is, when price of one commodity increases, the demand for that commodity falls, and similarly when price for one commodity falls, the demand for it increases. But in case of income effect, in case of inferior good, when price of one commodity increases, the real income basically increases. So we know for inferior good, the demand for that commodity falls. Now we know negative substitution effect and negative income effect work in opposite direction. So in both the cases, negative inferior effect and negative income and negative substitution effect work in opposite force. So in such cases, negative substitution effect would dominate and eclipse the income effect. Accordingly, quantity demanded should increase with a fall in price and decrease with a rise in price, even when the commodity happens to be a inferior good. So what happens in consumption? Inferior goods have 4 options are given. We already know negative income effect is right, so all these are wrong. So we would conclude for question number 8, the right answer is option 1. So I'll again repeat it once again if you guys couldn't catch up with something. So it was that an inferior good is that good whose income effect is negative and substitution effect is also negative. Negative income effect basically means a fall in price of a commodity leads to an increase in real income, which results in a quantity demanded, increase in quantity demanded. So we know the real income is this. So when price of this commodity falls, the real income increases. So the for inferior good, when income increases, the quantity demanded falls. So this is known as negative income effect. And on the other hand, negative substitution effect means that a fall in price result in fall in price or increase in price or fall in price, say, result in the opposite, that is the quantity demanded will increase. So this is known as negative income effect of change in price implies that as a result of fall in price, the quantity demanded decreases, and negative substitution effect and negative income effect work in opposite direction. So now we know, thus while substitution effect leads to an increase in quantity demanded, the negative income effect leads to a reduction in quantity demanded. However, negative income effect of inferior goods may not be as powerful as negative substitution effect. So in such cases, negative substitution effect would dominate the income effect. Accordingly, quantity demanded should increase with a fall in price and decrease with a rise in price even when the commodity happens to be inferior. So we need not be bothered about all these things. We just need to know that in consumption, inferior goods have both negative and negative income effect and also negative substitution effect. So option 1 is the right answer for question number 8. So for question number 8, option 1 is the right answer. So far we have solved until question number 8. Now we'll go to question number 9. So in question number 9 it is given, consider the following statement: inflation is advantageous to debtors and inflation is advantageous to bondholder. Which of the statement given above is correct? So for which we need to know bondholders basically bondholders get a fixed amount of money as interest. Bondholder get a fixed amount of money as interest, and this interest is basically unrelated to inflation, and this interest is unrelated to inflation. Now we know is declared at a time of issuing the bond. So inflation basically has no effect on bond holding. So a 88% bond implies 8 as interest each year. If there is an inflation, then the value of 8 will fall. The bondholder can buy lesser goods with 8 than before, so that real purchasing power is lower. This hurts the bondholder as they are unable to use 8 as they had imagined at the time of buying the bonds, so they are negatively hit by inflation. So bondholders are what? Negatively hit by inflation. And for debtors, inflation is what? Is it advantageous or not? So for this we know, for question number 9, the right answer is only A, because inflation is always advantageous to debtors, that is those who borrow the fund, that as the price has fallen, the value of price has fallen, so now it is advantageous to debtors. So for this we know, for question number 9, the right answer is option A, that is option 1. So now then they got into macroeconomics. So for the time being, I want you to go through from question number 1 until question number 9, revise through it for some times before we revise to them on my own. So now what we have to do, we have to check if there are any other questions from microeconomics in this paper. So you take your time, you just go through the questions once again for a couple of seconds before I proceed further with the other questions. So we couldn't find any other questions, so we'll like to conclude it here. But before I do so, I just want to make sure you guys have got all the questions correctly. For this, first what I'll do is I'll start with question number 5. So in question number 5, I'll do from question number 5 until 9, then we'll go to the other question. L-shaped average cost curve it witnessed in the large firms because 4 options are given. You have to figure out the last right answer. Take your time to find out the right answer. So we know that for question number 5, the right answer would be option 4. Now we'll go to the next question. Same, take your time. So long run monopolistic market, there are 2 things given. Firms, there is no profit no loss situation, there is no entry or exit of firms. So we have to find out which one is the right answer from this 2. Take your time to find out the right answer. So I hope you guys have opted the right answer. So out of which we know that both of them are right. So for question number 6, the right answer would be option 3. Now we'll straight go to the next question, which is question number 7. So in question number 7, it is given which of the following is not a problem of insurance market. So we have already solved this question in this video. So take your time to opt for the right answer. So I hope you guys have opted the right answer, out of which this doesn't seem to be compatible with the problem of insurance market. So for 7, the right answer is option 4. Now we'll come to question number 8. So in question number 8, it is given in consumption inferior goods have 4 options are given, out of which I just talked about it. The right answer would be negative income effect. Now we'll go to the next page. So consider the following statement: inflation is good to debtors and inflation is not good to bondholders. We know it is not good to bondholders, it is only advantageous to debtors. So for this we know only 1 is the right answer. Now we'll simply go to the first 4 questions, question number 1 until question number 4. So in this question number 1, it is given consumer surplus will be what? The consumer surplus will be AB. So for 4 is the right answer. Now cartel aims at maximizing. 4 options are given, out of which we know the right answer would be industry profit. Now no one can be made better off without making someone worse off. Describe which of the following I already talked of it, so it will be Pareto optimum. And finally, Slutsky equation. Explain what are the things. Slutsky equation basically split the price between income and substitution effects. Thank you for watching this video. We solved this paper. So in the subsequent video, we'll go to other years of UGC NET. We'll be solving microeconomics topics only. So if you have any query or doubts regarding this question or want to know more about it, you can simply WhatsApp me on this number, which is 9836793076, or you can also go to our website, which is www.shourabsirsclasses.com. There you will find a lot of other videos like this, and you will also get to see a lot of other materials which are needed for different entrance exam. So thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day ahead.